After I dropped out of high school, I couldn't stay with my mother. Things logistically weren't going to work out. She was going to be moving somewhere and I couldn't go with her. So I ended up staying with my sister in her attic / loft. I was just playing on my little shitty laptop. 90 degrees in the summer, there's no air conditioning. My two options were join the Air Force or go to community college. At the time, it was a pretty desperate situation. But I knew the thing that I really had going for me was that I could play some League of Legends. I knew that was really the only viable option for me. Most people, when they watch LCS, they don't know about a pro player's beginnings, but almost all pro players have amateur roots or amateur beginnings. I went to this LAN in Montreal, and this was the first real competitive chance for me to prove myself in like the amateur scene. We got knocked out early and started crying out of frustration after I took off my headset. It was angry tears. I went back to my hotel room and I slept it off, and I slept a while. It was a bad reaction that I had initially, just to blame someone. I don't know what happened, but after I woke up, I had a really different mindset. I'm gonna become so good that I'll never let a loss like that happen again. The next LAN I played at was a LAN called Player One. That was my favorite team I'd ever played on. I really wanted to win just for them. I didn't want them to feel the way that I felt after Montreal. Dan Clerkey from the Maryville program reached out to me and said that I was accepted for the tryouts. In those Maryville tryouts, I pretty much stomped every top laner and hard carried all the games that I was in. I felt like I could just breathe easily because I knew exactly where my life would be leading, at least for the next year. Going into the end of the collegiate season, the series versus Columbia College was sort of the peak of our redemption arc. It was a 50-minute Game 5 banger. We gave our mid laner a 5th pick on red side, and he picked his signature champion, Xerath, and he was an absolute smurf. I just remember after we won, I threw off my headset and I went over to my mid laner, Mike, and I said, Mike. And I kissed him on the cheek. And yeah, after the game, Mike was yelling, it's just so easy. It's just so easy. And then after that, that's when we started just destroying everyone. Nationals was in LA at the studios. We only dropped one game in all of our series, and we took the 2019 National Championship. That allowed us to qualify for basically what's like collegiate worlds. The crowd was actually nuts. There were hundreds of people, hundreds and hundreds of people. I went from a year ago not having a plan, not having a direction in my life, to really making a name for myself. I went into these Golden Guardians tryouts and I really wanted to make sure that there was no doubt in anyone's mind that I had everything to justify my spot. When I first learned that I was on LCS, just a feeling of joy. I felt like I was never really excited before in my league career. I was usually relieved, but this is the first time I felt really, really excited to be on a new team and compete with them. I really, really liked the way that Golden Guardians was running everything. It seems like they really care about players doing well and also making sure that every player gets their fair shake. The gap between an amateur player and an LCS player isn't as big as people might expect it to be. And so the biggest thing that I'm hoping to show in my first split in LCS is that there are people in the scene in North America that you don't know about, but they deserve to prove just how good they are.
Golden Guardians. The video deserves way more views than it currently has, so
love the
after the show, you know, go back to it. We'll tell you after the Nexus dies that you can do it again. Either way, it is going to be a fun battle here. Of course, Golden Guardians are up against Immortals. Immortals, I think, shocked everybody by taking down the lock-in champs Team Liquid yesterday.
Well done, honestly, too. And I really wanted to give more props to Revenge if Team Liquid turning their Twitter account into a Revenge fan page wasn't enough, because we need to hammer home and we need to give positive reinforcement to rookies stepping onto the LCS stage with confidence, going for 1v1 kills, taking counter picks, looking to take down, you know, the hyped up opponents that they're facing up. Alphari's coming in as this basically undisputed best top laner in the league. And Revenge takes the counter pick. He goes for the tower dive, goes for the 1v1 kill. He gets the kill. He leads Immortals to a victory over the lock-in champs. And now he's up against another new face in the top lane in the LCS, Niles. And guess what? Yeah. Niles also does not back down, does not play with fear. Unfortunately, you can see it has affected his KDA a bit so far. But we still are about positive reinforcement here, Freak. I still want to see both these guys, you know, throwing down with some carry tops. That does, of course, mean, you know, we give a little bit of weight to that red side, looking at a counter pick for them. But honestly, this top side is kind of my featured matchup for this matchup here. I know a lot of people now have more faith in Immortals after yesterday. But coming out of the lock-in tournament, a lot of people were talking about the Golden Guardians, specifically Niles, but as well Iconic, you know, backing him up there from the jungle.
Yeah, and Golden Guardians are a team where, right, for three of these players, it's their first time at a pro level. Newbie and Stixxay, of course, have had a lot of success in their careers and you know, titles to their names as well. But for the top three, it's like these are all the new guys. And Golden Guardians are playing topside. Like, you looked at the kill participation stat, the 0, 7, and 4, 80% KP. Yeah, he was 4 out of the 5 kills, right? Was just diving top lane, trying to get kills in a fudge. Like, GGA plays around topside. And Stixxay and Newbie chill down there. Ablaze Olive, you know, goes around as much as he can. But GG seem to be so far a topside team. And because, hey, Niles and Iconic played together for Maryville, right? Like, that's the inbuilt synergy. Those are the teammates from the previous year, so they are still doing that. And Iconic's been outstanding. I think he's actually, much like I think Closer with Golden Guardians last year, like, Golden Guardians has incredible luck scouting jungle talent. Iconic is great. I think he's really, really good. He's going to have a bright future ahead of him. And I think Niles needs to grow up. And that sounds so negative, but I mean, like, he's raw and you can tell.
Yeah, it's funny too, because, you know, when people saw the lineup and they were talking about the Maryville squad, they were like, oh, that's really cool how Niles was able to join Golden Guardians and take a jungle duo with you. That's what laners would love to do. You know, I'm blinking my jungle with you. Yeah, he's going to continue to camp my lane for me. Yeah. But honestly, for me, it has been Iconic who has been in the spotlight for Golden Guardians. You know, like you're saying, talking him up. Let's get into the bans, because he is receiving a decent amount of those jungle bans, and they're sprinkling through. This is a nice iteration, in my opinion, because Iconic in the game yesterday on the Udyr showed that he's very well equipped to use this champion. So they just banned that one out, and then they go after some of these top lane picks that we're talking about, hyping up the carry potential here. Aurelia from Revenge off of his performance yesterday. Meanwhile, they don't want to let him take the Camille, because I guess Revenge doesn't want to play Jax. Or Immortals doesn't want to, you know, spend too much time there.
Yeah, it is definitely, I would say, Niles' most comfortable top laner is Camille. It's the champion I liken him to the most, so they are pushing him at least down the comfort level somewhat. It does mean that Olaf is up as a premier pick. They got rid of the Senna that Stixxay might have picked, and that means that, yeah, you know, there's, I would say, you know, 3 to 4 S-tier junglers, Olaf definitely one of them, and Premier and Iconic, who's the best performing player on Golden Guardians, is getting an incredibly strong pick for himself.
I still am having a hard time believing that we're in a world where Udyr is your jungle ban, and, you know, they're like, go ahead, first pick the Olaf. But the times have changed, my friend. That does leave up the Kai'Sa, and Renekton is also available. There are not a lot of great answers to Renekton if you wanted to do, hey, we're going to do carry style top side. That would be a great pick early for Revenge. Doesn't look like they're going to invest in it quite yet. I do still like it, though. Keep it in the back of your mind, because AP junglers have gone through the ban phase. Nidalee's still available. Talia's still available. If you pick a Renekton for that, and you remember to charge up your Fury for your longer stun, then like that is a kill combo in itself.
Yep, interesting to see Orianna taken away. On the Immortals side, Blaze Olive has 9 recorded Orianna games, and he's won a single one of them. He has not been successful on Ori throughout his career so far, even despite having some very successful runs through Academy. Either way, that's going to be the spot he's in. Xayah grabbed pretty early on, would not mind an early recon here, and let Stixxay and Newbie get a lot done. I think that if we're going to sort of stack rank who the top performers on Golden Guardians are, it's Iconic and the bottom lane. I would love to give them more agency if Golden Guardians are trying to find wins sort of early on. Keep in mind that in this year for LCS, for 2021, the sort of air quote spring split doesn't really exist. It's just 5 round robins qualifies into the summer playoffs to go for Worlds, right? Which means these games count towards Worlds qualification right now. Immortals are a team that have scrimmed for 8 days. If there are going to be easier wins on the board, it's games like this, and I want to see them influence, and sort of go towards wins early game. And that means Stixxay and Newbie, I want to see them have, control in their hands. I like a Blaze Olive's TF as well. I think it's a very good pick. And so they've got, strong champs on a lot of the top performers.
Hecarim into the Xayah. Interesting here for Immortals. They are going to have a great ball delivery system. Shockwave, Hecarim is always a great combination, and you've got Kai'Sa to follow up on it. I would say they're probably looking to, dive and attack the TF instead of bottom lane, then instead of the Xayah, and cut off the global at the source, which I've always been a big fan of the strategy, going to the source of the global. So, Blaze Olive, while TF is really strong right now, and you can enable your side lanes, he might be taking a bit of extra focus here.
Yeah.
Considering that Xayah's got a lot of outs on the bottom side. Top lane, focus continues, my friend.
Yeah, I expect Immortals to go for counterpick there. It worked really well for Revenge last time. If any of you heard Alfari's interview earlier today, he talked about, the reason Team Liquid lost to Immortals was they were a little bit too cocky. He specifically mentioned cocky lane picks, right? He blinded the Kennen, and the Irelia went into him, and it went badly. And so Immortals counterpicking top seems to be good.
But Renekton is being left up here still. And that feels like, unless you're willing to do Quinn, which Niles actually is, so yeah. Maybe they're leaving it up as a a bit of a bait here, dangling it. I get really nervous, even if I'm the team that's picking, a hard counter like Quinn, that if you die, if you lose jungle pressure, there are so many things that can go wrong with it. But now we're getting right down to it. Both of them left up. Immortals not going to show their hand first, and we get to see, is Niles going to go for it?
The Rakan goes through after all because the Immortals wanted to throw bans at top lane. Niles, they know at this point now that Niles is going to have to blind pick, so they got rid of his Camille, his Comfort, and they got rid of the 2 big range tops that you can blind in Jace and Gnar. Will Niles go to tank duty, or will he say, Renekton, come to my lane, we're going to be physical heavy up there, but whatever. The Xayah Rakan, of course, I think it's a great combo. Again, my eyes really are on Stixxay and Newbie. They can get a lot done down there, and he says, okay, Gangplank will be the pick. What you got?
I was going to say Comfort pick instead, because he's self-proclaimed best GP, and this is something that he goes to blind pick all the time.
Ooh.
So he's going to pick it right up, and we do get the Ivern. You could, if you really wanted to, flex those 2 right now, and still switch Ivern to jungle and Hecarim to topside, but I'm expecting it to be the topside Ivern into GP. He can farm up towards the Moonstone, be a great team fighter for this squad. This Immortals team fight is looking beefy, so Golden Guardians better get on that Twisted Fate. A Blaze Olive, your first ultimate, your second ultimate, you gotta be proactive with this. You've got an Olaf jungle and a Twisted Fate mid. Those 2 have to get stuff started before this group that Immortals have constructed here with crazy amounts of shields, with double solo lane shielding champions, is able to bring them and apply them to the Hecarim.
All right. Worldwide, this is the 5th Ivern top pick of the year. It is currently 3-1. A lot of those wins over in the LEC. Well, to be fair, one of the wins and one of the losses, Wonder won on it, Crazy lost, but it is going to be fun to see this one come out. This is one where you're like, you know what? Just kidding. We're not doing the skill check top lane. We are playing supportive up there.
We're
buffing up the
matchup. Carry top lane. Let's see him go. Is it? It's going to be Quinn Renekton. I love that.
If only Niles picked Soraka, If this was Soraka Ivern, I'd be like, all right, and we're out. Let's go watch bot lane some more.
Yeah. Honestly, though, the utility that you do get for it is going to be all about this team fight for Immortals. They're building their comp, centered around this. So we're going to have our eyes on the early objective priority towards the bottom side of the map with those dragons. You don't have to send any jungle attention up to the top side for the Ivern. Actually, one thing that is often overlooked for the Ivern is the amount of extra damage you get from your passive for being in brush. And so even though he permanently has ranged attacks now, and you don't have to get into the brush for range attacks, it's still really, really heavily utilized for top lane to get that extra damage because your early trades are actually significant with it. And it does allow you a decent amount of control up there. So and it's just basically just, don't have to apply much attention and then try and group up for later.
All right, it does mean, of course, this is a lane you can attack. Golden Guardians could clearly go around bot side and use the global GP to make it look better. Xayah Rakan is a very explosive lane, of course. Or you can go top, and Ivern's going to be alone without much support and not a lot of damage to top things out. So that'll be a fun one to watch for. On the Immortal side, very much a team fight wombo composition. Xerxes, Insanity, and Raze going to be there for all of the damage with some supports through the Ivern. And okay, is there going to be anything spicy here? Hoping to maybe do a timing play?
Ideally, they're looking to force the Tribrush person over towards the Rakan, so the Rakan can then W knock up over the wall. But Immortals suss it out. Nice defensive movement from Revenge. Walked back way early into the Krug brush instead. This has become very common that I've actually started to hear multiple secret names for that exact opening play.
Okay.
I don't want to repeat all of them. Actually, I don't think we need to go down that path. But the idea is always you try and funnel the enemy top laner from the Tribrush to run towards your CC champion. Doesn't have to be Rakan. Anything with a long range CC to fire over the wall. It has become so commonplace, though, that it's expected now, and it's nice to see the defensive opening there from Immortals. Seeding ground, backing right off. Nobody with any deep vision here to start out.
Smart by Revenge. We did see the learned brush at level 1 and says, okay, what's the normal timing here? What's the top lane going to do? Sit in that brush, but good damage here out of Niles. He's already got the burn, and he's going to get the grasp off as well. Extra Q, and that is a trade advantage, but keep in mind, double health potion for Revenge. Nice, gets the Q out just in time for Niles. He's going to feel comfortable with more sustain thanks to Corrupting Potion, and Revenge's got to be careful. He's not quite like flash killable, and with the Brush of the Air can drop Q animations a lot, so fairly reasonable. But yes, there's going to be more XP, more gold earned early for Niles to be first level 2.
Yep, as I was talking about with the extra passive damage, though, you see Revenge using the brush. That's why he skills it early so he can get the extra damage. He drops back in every few autos to be able to replenish it. But Niles, Trial by Fire for Gangplank. If you utilize that, you can go so aggressive early on. Grass Qs as well coming through, no problem. Early lane control gained, but they should know it was a bottom start for Xerxes. So you have to be a little bit worried.
Nice stun. Can't quite get the root after as well, but Q auto E almost gets you there. Couldn't quite get all of them to land though. Still a solid trade. Xerxes, yes, going through a pretty full clear. Did take Gromp as well, so going through the entire jungle, kiting the red buff up towards the Krugs to buy some time. You especially want to save time because you want to make sure the Hecarim Qs stay stacked. For the cooldown betterment, that's going to be pretty solid. And Revenge, yeah, going to take this wave underneath the turret. Will miss the cannon. And Niles gets the fairly standard push in 3 waves then recall play. Allows him an early Doran's Blade. He considered shield, but said, nah, I'm going to be more aggressive than this. We're going to be okay down there. And just takes that early first recall to walk back to lane.
Yeah, the kiting camps over close next to the other one, by the way, should be standard practice on any jungler that doesn't have some sort of clear mechanic that requires you to stand still. I can't emphasize this enough. When you see jungle clears, oftentimes the people falling behind in the races, these auto-filled junglers, are ones that just stand at the current camp, auto-attacking and using their spells on the thing to death. It does save you a significant amount of time to always leash your camp over towards the next one. The Gromp up towards Wolves, Wolves over towards mid so you can get the Raptors quicker. Literally all of them, because travel time is such a big deal when you're clearing your jungle. Move speed is so important for junglers, and that should be something that especially people who are auto-filled into the role can actually gain a lot from.
Dematerializer. Didn't know it'll actually kill a minion through teleport, even though I'm pretty sure the teleport still always goes through. Maybe I'm wrong about that. You can actually just completely stuff a TP, but I've never seen it happen. So But, you know, I don't run Dematerializer, and I don't play lane where people run TP very often, so I don't know for certain.
I'm not quite sure either. I don't think so.
Yeah, I know if you kill a turret, it stops the TP. I imagine there's no way that works in lane. I'm sure a lot of Twitter will tell me. I'm sure the answer is known. I just don't know it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't nail the minion with it.
Yeah.
On the bottom side of the map, though, we are going to have Iconic pathing right back down there for the Olaf, and he rushed the tier 2 Lucidity boots for the extra cooldown reduction. A lot of times you see Olaf's go. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, big stun comes across, but yeah, Newbie's got shields anyway. They're going to get good damage on a Destiny whose aftershock was already timed out. I got to point out as well, by the way, we have Spell Thieves out of Newbie. Golden Guardians feels very, very comfortable in this matchup. You very rarely see the range support items on Rakan. You so often see Relic Shield, but he says, you know what, look, this is a matchup where I'm not afraid of any engages at all. I can always get away. I can support Stixxay. We want to play aggressively. I want to auto your turret. You will earn way more gold going Spell Thieves. You have way more mana to spam Qs, and so far it is working. This CS lead is 14. They are smashing bottom lane.
Truly are. And now, you know, I didn't really hear you the first time when you're talking about the Dematerializer, but it actually just sounds so ridiculous. There's no way that
you just like stop teleport,
be able to kill, makes the minions immune. Yeah.
But the
regardless,
killed it.
Jungler should be able to get in here. You see Xerxes coming down.
Ooh, big flash play. They got the combo. They got a bunch of stuns. Iconic tries to turn it around, but first blood comes through to Xerxes. What a great start. Immortals want a bit more. They're going to find the combo. The ult comes through, and a Blaze Olive goes down.
All right, that is why it's so risky to just kind of blind go for one of those dragons, especially Ocean Drake slows you down, does so much damage. Now Stixxay and Nube still up there.
Pulled back in, knocked up, though. They might find Destiny. They will do so, but Stixxay, his days are numbered. He's going to drop down. The Cannon Barrage is too late. Raise the minions!
Minion
the
auto.
minions! The minions! Oh, he healed just enough. He chugged a potion or something. I don't know what, but he got 22 health back, and he lived.
That's the first Gangplank ultimate as well drawn out. He's going to be able to farm off turret plates, no problem on Revenge. I don't think he actually gets too much done there. He's going for it, though.
But Daisy
is out.
Yeah, Daisy's going to clap a little bit, so that's going to go through.
Yeah. With the Observer sending us to a replay, I'm pretty sure that just means nothing there, right?
No.
Okay, so they don't sweep on this dragon, and they're going for an attempted sneak on this dragon without full lane priority on either side or getting a pick first. Like, this is really greedy to start up early dragons like that, especially Ocean Drake that does slow you down in the pit. And so he's punished. Olaf goes down, but counter kill at least for the Golden Guardians duo, with Newbie getting the kill credit. They didn't get the gold onto Stixxay, but that was, by the way, I think as he leveled up for Gangplank Ultimate, he was pushing the wave as hard as he could to try and level up and get his ultimate.
Yep.
Comes in there, not quite able to squeeze out the extra counter kill, but
yeah,
at least one given up there for Newbie.
Yeah, can't blame Niles. I do want to throw a little bit at Newbie, though, because he stopped playing the lane aggressively. Once they killed the first one, he just hit autos onto Xerxes or Destiny instead of going for Raze at the end there. Raze was obviously one auto from dead, and Newbie chose to kind of get off, thinking that fight was done. Not expecting that Stixxay could actually fight back pretty close. So there was one more kill possible. Newbie, I mean, it's hard to know, but he did miss out on.
Yeah, we'd have to, pry open the communication and talk about is Niles calling, hey, I'm only one minion from ulti, I can apply ulti, then you definitely fully commit to that.
Yeah. Either way, close one regardless. And look, the game is still obviously tight as well. Immortals up in kills. They've got the first dragon as well. But the laning phases are clapping here, right? Bot lane is still up 30 CS. It's going to be 20 once they last hit the wave. Niles is up 20 up in top lane there as well. Mid lane, okay, yeah, TF cheats a bit. But this is still an overall good start. Golden Guardians and Immortals really both have had decent early games. It's the mid game where it gets a lot harder for these teams. And for a couple of squads where, look, it's Revenge's first time in pro play. Insanity played part of a split with Immortals. Like, for a lot of these guys, they are new to this one, so I want to see how their mid-game shot calling can work on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully for Immortals, their comp is really easy to execute when they group up, and it's going to be the Golden Guardians, with the magnifying glass on some of these communicated plays, some of these collaborations between lanes. They've got two globals, and you need to coordinate those. Twisted Fate ultimate ready, Gangplank ultimate backup for Niles. And with the Olaf jungle here actually falling behind in the jungle, dying off of the bottom side play, off the really greedy kind of dragon attempted sneak down there, it does pull away one of the tools that they wanted to start out these fights. Usually you're using these globals to back up your Olaf and snowball him ahead. But with Xerxes already level 8 on Hecarim, it's kind of out the window.
And you can see Revenge trying to play in the lane uninteractive when possible. So now says, okay, we're just going to go for the free gold income. Gonna just fight Daisy. Yeah, I mean, realistically, Revenge ulted to hand over 50 gold. Okay, might have saved the plate as a result, right? Niall's a little bit low. Might have to respect Hecarim. In fact, there's really no ward control at all for top side. But this is just gravy. Gangplank is hard farming. I couldn't tell you for sure who outscales. I have not gotten to cast an Ivern top game. And even in pro play, there's so few games of it regardless that there's not a ton of evidence.
I mean, it's for sure just the difference of team fighting. And Ivern does scale your team fighting really well, but he's just hemorrhaging so much gold over to Gangplank, and it's going to turn into map control. And that is where the seesaw kind of tips. Because, when people talk about scaling, there are different ways that you can scale. And Revenge is not looking for 1v1s. He is not looking for side lane pressure. He is looking for teammates to shield later on. He's looking for his Moonstone, looking for his Staff of Flowing Water, because we are still on 11.2.
Yes, we are. And you'd probably still build those even afterwards, but Ivern also received nerfs on 11.3. Regardless, we are still in this game where the richest man in the game is Xerxes on the Hecarim, and he's just finished Divine Sunderer with level 1 boots in there as well. So that is a power spike for big Hecarim. Second Dragon is alive. Xerxes is already on the way down there. Red Smite's ready. Ghost is ready. Ult's ready. His teammates are available. Everything but Revenge's ultimate is up and able to support this one out. No TP to join either. Niles might get some more global pressure as a result, get some good damage across. Revenge is going to keep losing this lane. I'm curious when we see a Herald come down. Xerxes has it, of course, can try to send that one maybe before or after the Dragon comes through, but Golden Guardians, off their bot lane control, are kind of preventing the Dragon play from happening. Here's mid, though.
Yep, and so just rifting mid here for some quick gold for Insanity into Dragon. Let's see about the response here, because it's full river control from Golden Guardians. And with Niles just bullying Revenge under tower, they're just waiting on the timer for his teleport to come up. He's got full pressure on top side, teleport advantage in a few seconds, and with ultimate, this has to be Golden Guardians taking the Dragon, and ideally for them, they also kind of bait out a fight or something here to get some easy kills. Twisted Fate ultimate is ready to punish if any members of Immortals overstep. Revenge just has nothing that he could possibly add to that side of the map.
Bit of pain towards Niles as Daisy keeps fighting. Revenge running a bit low on mana. Again, cannot TP down. Niles has ult and teleport to do something himself. Is this a possible plan to raise? Shields in. I'm curious if Newbie would have been willing to ult and just force a flash for flash trade, because I guess Raze could have cleanse, Eid, and maybe get away from the knockup that way. Would have been a bit of a tight timing, but no aggressive play made down there. Honestly, Herald was summoned. It knocked down 2 plates in mid. That's the sort of expected value if you haven't gotten the turret low in the first place. But Immortals still feeling like, look, they can control the bot side. The Golden Guardians who just recalled.
Goodness. Yeah.
So
off of recall.
Yeah.
Off of recall, Immortals get the Dragon. Are you kidding me? With how much pressure Niles had on the top side, it's just Mallet Olaf versus fully completed Sunder or Hecarim.
Oh, Iconic wants in though. With Shockwave down, there's Flashburn. He's still ghosting as he gets the slow, but now he's too close to the turret, and he knows the bot lane can rejoin, and indeed, Hecarim and Rel were right nearby. The horses, the cavalry, they had arrived, so he had to turn around. But guess what? Look at this. All the plates, Niles continues to have control over top side. You had the chance to counterpick, but a lot was banned away. They said, Revenge, you're going to play something supportive, and you're going to lose all 5 turret plates, very little jungle intervention, and Moonstone Renewer does not help the 1v1. So Niles, if there is a game for you to turn it around and be the carry force for your team, it is this one. You were given a free lane, you are gigantic, and this Gangplank is going to have to be the difference.
It really is for Golden Guardians. That's where all of their gold is too. I mean, Twisted Fate's been farming up and has the extra gold generating passive, so he's got a decent amount for himself, but it's Immortal Shield Bowl completed for him. So it is kind of worrying about the possible burst. A Hecarim charging in with Shockwave definitely is there, but here's the Twisted Fate play finally.
Charm. The ult gets away from the knockup, and Ray's going to survive burning. Yes, all 3 important cooldowns, but that just cost 2 ults on the Golden Guardian side. They're going to get a couple hits down to this bottom turret, put it down to about 1/3. Sadly, the wave is gone. If there were 3 more minions, that turret would have fallen, but it's still a lot of pressure. It's Ray's out of cooldowns. It's bot lane turret running out of health. And I can't stress enough, Golden Guardians, despite the fact they're losing dragons, are overall winning the game in terms of pressure, in terms of laning. And this is going to be likely almost solo turret, but be careful. Be careful. Here comes the combo. They're going to look for the knockups. They're going to find a lot of damage to the 6A. He's been left alone, and he's going to be an easy mark. They're going to find the ulti if they want it from Xerxes. Doesn't have to burn it, though. Going to put in it. But, oh, you got to be kidding. Stixay sidesteps it, and Newbie was there to defend him. I can't believe he lived.
He lives. He doesn't get the tower, but he lives. That's all that's necessary here from the bottom side. Immortals swing and a miss here. Iconic is around too, can try and hold the wave. They're not going to give anything out. Honestly, I feel like Niles here denying some CS, kind of leaving this wave in mid with no tower on top side. This is going to be Immortals needing to force again, and yet, Freak, they just used Rel combination with Hecarim ultimate on bottom side, so they don't have their big engaged tools to try and force something and punish quick. Now, with now slowly building up this wave, you basically create another objective on the map. This is what you want to do to try and force your opponents to be numbers down. Send that one off and try and force on the other side. Xayah will pick up bottom turret in exchange for Immortals getting another objective. There's no way that Golden Guardians want the team fight here. Moonstone is done for Ivern, and Revenge just wants to play with the team, and that's what he's going to get.
Onto the bot lane they continue, though. No one here to defend this turret. Sadly, there's so few minions that this isn't going to take that much damage. Newbie gets to earn 60 gold. He's got to be very close to finishing the Frostfang all the way up to tier 3. But Stixay just earning a ton of gold, getting solo XP, still scaling up. Of course, he's out of his cooldowns as well, just as Immortals had Ray's attack at the bot lane. Stixay was attacked as well, had to burn the cooldown to stay alive. Of course, that Gale Force is in. You can try to stay alive. To talk about the shield build real quick, though, of course, it was buffed in 11.3. It is now Gangplank's go-to build because of those buffs. But even in the current patch run, 11.2, it was still his 3rd most common, and the win rate was up there time to Triforce. So it was already good even in this patch. This is not Niles like cheating himself out of forgetting what patch it is. This is a good item. It's there for the crit Gangplank, and it should be pretty solid here.
Yeah, just it's definitely significantly better on live.
Of course.
Let's take a look, though, if they can actually make something happen mid. 4 members committed, and they just get disengaged by the Shockwave. Ghostbone here by Iconic as well. And that is going to be some more time for Immortals to actually bring Revenge to the fight. He's got Teleport now. They don't have the Orianna Shockwave, so maybe it's actually just solo farming Kai'Sa. I like rotating 80 carries into side lane farm, as we've seen in seasons past, especially if it's Kai'Sa, who has some mobility in the kit, as well as really benefiting from levels.
Only problem is Raze is running out of time to recall and join his team for the Dragon. That's pretty much... That timer has kind of passed. And so Immortals are maybe making a play to attack topside and trade Dragon for it. They've already got 2. If they're not going to play for Soul, then whatever. If they are going to play for Soul, then they're kind of giving this one away. Raze, of course, known topside. 20 seconds on Dragon is too late. Destiny may indeed show for a dive. Xerxes going as well. Golden Guardians should always get Dragon because of this play, unless they dedicate resources to defend Niles topside. He's in a 1v3. 1v4.
4!
Okay,
yeah.
Stun comes across, Force of the top. They've got a Blaze Olive there as well. The entire squad shows up. Raze finds the kill on Niles, and they're going to find the Herald charge as well. This will be the turret dropping. This will be the kill coming through as well. But it should be Iconic at least soloing the Dragon. And I wonder how much mid pressure will happen, because Insanity is still there to defend, to wave clear. Golden Guardians will not get their own turret kill. It is a Dragon traded for a kill and a turret.
Okay, here they go on Insanity.
Newbie finds it. They get a big combo. Flash for Insanity. Feathers fly. Shockwave cannot drop in time. That would have been a kill if he got off a little bit sooner, but he died before it went through. 2 turrets killed in top lane, though, thanks to Shelly. 1 kill traded back, though, and mid under fire, not going to be killed.
Yeah, honestly, the response there from Golden Guardians going for the kill, plus the Dragon, stopping that Dragon stacking you're talking about for this squad that does want to have the 5v5 with Ivern. Decent option, honestly. And we'll see about the dive once again. There's no way that Niles lives this, even with Twisted Fate joining him to try and defend. So he's immediately bursted down. Good ultimate from Xerxes to make sure they finish it off. Blaze Olive is here for emotional support. But really the big turn was in mid lane, because honestly I thought Insanity was just going to sit at the tower and wave clear safely with Orianna, but Newbie walks up, is able to dash to Stixxay with the ulti, uses the flash. Okay, it's pretty hard to do anything about that as Orianna flashes down though for Insanity, as well as the extra kill. So maybe Golden Guardians can try and use that extra gold for some pressure.
Absolutely. So Essence Reaver's coming through for a lot of players now. Double item for the bigger carries, Niles and Stixxay, both on those parts of the build. Shirelli is done for newbies, going to be really nice. That is one of the things you also get out of the extra gold income from the ranged support item, is you can get your mythics done sooner. Now, as it stands, Destiny's there already with the locket, but that is still a consideration. You can get more money out of the ranged one. Sometimes you spike a bit sooner. That is a relevant consideration here. Still a 3,000 gold difference in Golden Guardians lead. All said and done, the scoreboard, a lot of it looks better, right? Immortals tied in turrets, up in dragons, up in kills, but the gold does not tell that story right now. It is laning in the top and bot lane, but we know the team fighting is what Immortals cares about, right? That's why they pick the Ivern. You don't pick Ivern because you're going to lane Kingdom of Gangplank. You pick Ivern because the team fight's going to be better, and we're going to wait to see that first 5-on-5 really happen. Immortals have yet to show us one.
And the defensive vision here is starting to get cleared out towards the top side, where there's actual real possibilities of Golden Guardians trying to hard push on the top side and make Golden Guardians overextend a little bit. Looks like Raze is the next target here. Just going to force him off the tower, though, with Newbie fainting.
Has all 3 cooldowns. Barrel gets a decent chunk down there. Stixxay pulled aggro with his Qs, has to kite away. That means they don't get the turret kill. Big combo comes across and Stixxay cannot get away. He just needed to ult the crash down. Failed to do so. Cleanse came out late. Stixxay, you had the tools to dodge away from dying and doesn't do so successfully. A kill picked up there for Immortals.
Yeah, you hate to see Xayah dying with ult and flash available, but Golden Guardian's going to still try and defend this Baron. This is ideal for Immortals. Everybody here applying the shields. They don't have the Hecarim ultimate, but they still have Destiny on the flank.
Shockcliff catches one. Blaze all got to be careful. Charm in the backline. A double knockout comes through. Will there be a re-engage? No, not just yet. As Destiny comes across, they find Newbie. It's a 5v3 in the team fight now. Stixxay respawning in 3 seconds still. The flash in for Raze. He wants a Blaze Olive, but he can't find it. He kills himself as Niles finds the damage output, but it is still a trade for the top laner. Now a 2v4, but 3 as Stixxay respawns. The Baron may well be stopped. Raze died, so did Newbie, and Niles still a +1 team fight for Immortals.
Yeah, and you still see the power of this grouped up team. Once you start getting the extra Orianna and Ivern shields coming from solo laners with the extra experience, higher levels fully maxed right here, means so much. But look at the engage. Newbie goes in, gets the big knockup for them, immediately dies for it. A Blaze Olive try to follow up there, and he flashes out. He gets enough distance away from Raze that Raze actually finds himself flashing right next to the Gangplank, one of the strongest members on Golden Guardians, and definitely pays the price for it. So a little over-eager for Immortals, but I still think, despite the Golden Guardians' gold advantage, Immortals feel pretty confident.
And look at the damage numbers, right? Look at how much Niles did there. He's obviously the big deal. Xerxes also obviously incredibly relevant here in this game. And that KDA is perfect. I believe he's 3-0-4, 100% across kind of the board here with supportive members. Make sure he's going to feel safe. A flash for Newbie. He wasn't in range to jump to Niles, so had to burn the Summoner spell to stay alive against what would have been Xerxes into maybe enough damage out of Revenge and Destiny. Maybe he would have lived, but he doesn't know where everyone was. And so burns the flash to be safe, but that means the flash of Rakan is not a good engage champion. And Immortals own the river first.
All right, Dragon about to spawn as well. They get to draw Golden Guardians in. It should be, honestly, I would make the call for Golden Guardians to rotate everybody north. Try and push on the extra minion wave there and give up this Dragon and actually just fight the soul point, but they're going to fight this one instead.
They want the battle. When does the engage happen? Revenge in the front line. He's got Daisy there. They're going to knock that one down. One ult missing. Gangplank going to join the squad now as well. So, of course, same for TF, burning the ulti. Here's the GP ult over the top. Locket burn. Engage for Destiny, but no one is there around it. No one communicated he was going in. There was no follow-up. He gave his life away. He gave the Dragon away. He gave the mid lane away. And Golden Guardians are in the inside track.
What in the heck? Freak, that is one of the most desynced plays that we have seen in the LCS. The whole team turns and walks south in the river towards Gangplank while Destiny engages. I mean, that is some question mark pings on both sides, honestly. You cannot afford to have those types of miscommunication when your team is such a straightforward team fight. You know, engage, hard engage into Shockwave should be the play here, but let's take a look at exactly, yeah, everybody else is running south towards the Gangplank, and it's a one-way ticket, one-man mission as well. So Golden Guardians, they sweep right in. They happily pick up that rail kill. They happily pick up the Dragon. That's a celebration for sure for the GGS members.
I want to be clear, Destiny is not a rookie. Years of experience, been to Worlds, I believe it's twice, 3 OPL titles, not a rookie. This is, you know, and I know he's vocal. I know he made the call. He said, let's do this. Like, he popped Locket to shield them over the GP ult and said, I found the engage, let's go. I don't know if he called it too late. I don't know if Insanity said, no, I don't want this. Like, I know we've said it a couple times, but you have to peel back the comps to know for sure, but it was a desync. Here comes the play in once again. Big stun combo comes across. Blazolov has to rocket belt away, but Xerxes is still there. He's ghosting after him. Sadly, a Blazolov could not find a gold card in time, needed an insta-lock. Kill comes through in the tower dive. Well played, Immortals.
Okay, this should definitely be an inhibitor turret as well. Nobody in defense here for Golden Guardians. Big, big dive. Xerxes being able to burn this one down. Plenty of zoning on the outside. Revenge walking up in there, keeping Niles split pushing, as you can see on the minimap, trying to get some gold back for themselves. He does get the secondary turret there, but costing top inhib with Baron alive is definitely going to be a difficult situation for Golden Guardians now.
3,500 though, still the gold difference, still tied. And at some point the gold lead lies. GP and Twisted Fate do just cheat their incomes up. Yes, the money is spent, but they're balanced around the gold income being that high. An average game for GP or TF has a gold lead. There's something just a little misleading about that scoreboard. Regardless, though, it's a tight one. It clearly is. Golden Guardians have grown their turret lead. They've tied up in Dragons. Considering the fact that Immortals got the first two, Golden Guardians have just gotten more out of the mid game. Yeah, the gold may have stagnated, but the objectives are going towards the blue side. Stixxay is still farming up an absolute storm here on the Xayah. Not too far away from Infinity Edge. That's going to feel really good. Raze is going for probably the Hurricane instead, so not going to have quite that same single target power spike that Stixxay is going to have on the Xayah.
Yeah, not the same single target. Let's see about the execution potential of one of these picks, because the dive's still so strong with Immortals, especially behind how fed Xerxes is on this Hecarim. He's going to be charging in with impunity. No fear at all. There's no stopwatch on a Blaze Olive either. So he is definitely going to have to be worried, because Stixxay obviously has, if he presses the buttons, his ultimate and flash available. So
yep.
Let's see if Immortals can actually keep the pressure onto the Twisted Fate, start burning cooldowns. Again, even though they are down in gold, they have such a good team fight synergy that they are still set up with a lot of power here. Baron rush, though, I kind of like it, honestly. Insanity does have teleport, so they're keeping it down there until they get everybody else up towards the Baron, and they'll burn the teleport there if necessary. Golden Guardians
on the way.
Have to turn.
TP burn, but it's already dead. They rushed it down so fast. Crit GP does so much damage, but this dive could be good. Niles survives with the oranges, though, but look at the health bar on Xerxes. He's still running low. Shockwave just gets nothing done. And Golden Guardians not only sneak the Baron, they come away with a kill as well.
What the heck, Freak? I've actually just been rolled by this game. I can't believe it. Golden Guardians just make the play, rushing the Baron, burning it in time. Teleport burned as well. Extra kill given over. All right, Golden Guardians back at it. They've got the Baron buff. They can turn the tides on pushing. Let's take another look at it. Niles on the GP.
Yep. Doing
his best here to output the DPS. Stixxay gets over there. They even have the ward inside, but the teleport, they're holding on to it. Even with the Scryers was used. Trinket right there. So nice burn from Golden Guardians. And then they're able to turn on the Hecarim as fed as Xerxes was through the OP Sterix before nerf on live. They still burn him down, even with all the extra shields.
He's tanky too. He had Randuin's done. He had Steel Caps done already. He's a really, really durable boy. But hey, guess what? power spikes. You've got a free lane Gangplank. Stixxay, honestly, has even more farm than him. Stixxay's got great CS. I'm not sure if IE was done by the time for that, but the single target damage output of Golden Guardians is absurdly high. Yes, it's physical heavy, but it didn't matter. Xerxes built armor. They still got through him. That was just a ton of damage. They got the third dragon in a row. Ult cooldowns are super awesome for these champions. It's a really big deal for all 5 of them. I think really only Iconic is going to not care that much, but he'll care about the Cloud Soul when he runs at 17,000 miles an hour when he ults.
All right, back on Golden Guardians train here. Let's go, Freak. They've got an extra minute, so 2 more minion waves to work with for this Baron buff. 2 waves pushing in as well, with a Blaze Olive picking up the bottom side. TF Ultimate used as well, and Raze is already at 50%. They should be able to do real damage with this.
Yeah, they're going to start knocking down on mid lane turret. The squad's going to come in to defend. Not going to find any roots just yet, but yeah, Raze still below half HP makes that fight. Oh! There you go! There's the barrel chain you're looking for with 80% crit Gangplank. That's why you make that build. He has been deleted. Kai'Sa disappears, and it wasn't from Supercharge. Inhibitors are going to drop. The Horsies retreat to the back line. Get out of there. Pikemen counter it. And that's going to be 2 inhibitors down, and Golden Guardians, they're going to back away. They're going to chill for a little bit. Out they go.
Styles on his signature champion, the Gangplank here. Gets the freest of lanes. He's like, okay, you're going to give me an Ivern. I will punish hard. Takes the whole turret in lane phase himself. Barrel chain to the back of the 50% health Kai'Sa. Pops her like a balloon. And that is a clean sweep. 2 inhibitors taken before Baron wears off. They can even recall in style. Reset right back to top side. 1 place left to go, Freak, because there's still 3.5 minutes, left on the Dragon. 2:40 left on the Baron, so they can just use the double super minions on mid and bot to focus up here on top side and bleed Immortals out.
Oh my gosh, okay, Golden Guardians, they have everything they need to close this game out. This is, at least 90-10 here. They are so heavily favored to make this one happen. 95% crit chance on GP. There's the odds that you just miss it accidentally. Newbie has to kite back. Xerxes still here, though. They might make this play happen. Keep in mind, Olaf is far. TF can join with ult, but it is a 3v5 for a small moment. Bot is slow pushing in. Golden Guardians need to play safely enough. They don't get engaged upon. And then, yep, Immortals have to turn around, tuck tail, and run and defend your base.
This is the hard time for the teamfight focused team where you can't get your hands on anyone. It feels really frustrating when your opponents, have all these multiple waves pushing in. You're playing against a Twisted Fate. You're getting split pushed to death with super minions coming in, and you just want them to fight a team fight with you. You just want, a quote-unquote fair fight where you can get your hands on them. But Golden Guardians not going to give it to them at this point. Super minions are in. They're starting to do damage to the Nexus turrets, and Golden Guardians can force Immortals to wade through Gangplank barrel chains, Gangplank ultimate, and Newbie here on the Rakan does have flash. So when somebody does get hit, they can pull the trigger. There they go.
Stuns come across. Stixxay finally gets the ulti away. He's going to try to stay alive. He's burning. He gets the shield. He'll just barely live. And now it's all about the re-engage. Xerxes going to kite away, get away from the GP ulti. No deaths either side. And honestly, that feels good for Immortals because they're going to just free farm these waves coming in them. A bunch of super minions, a bunch of extra golden XP to gain, and nothing to get inside of the map. There's still going to be enough time to reset and then look again at the Dragon fight.
All right, we may be going late. It is a Cloud Soul for the extra move speed here on ultimate procs. I guess I do love it for Olaf, obviously, and Rakan. So it's actually a pretty high priority one here for Golden Guardians to lock up. They still have extra. Ooh.
He was ghosting down,
oh, he can't blast going out.
Oh, yeah, you can't. He ulted to not get feared. He's going to keep running. Nice barrel. Finds a slow one to Xerxes. A knock up there onto Raze. He's going to be right in front of the other team. Blaze Olive nearly could have gone for a flash gold card. He was almost in range for that one. Maybe could have tried. But here's another combo coming across. This is big damage onto Iconic. And just in time, they will knock him down. He's dead for 55 seconds. Dragon and Baron spawn for that. And Raze, Blaze Olive, you went too far. You got to be careful. Xerxes on the chase. Won't have Ghost, though. The flash in for revenge. And that's the setup they need. Immortals are back on the board.
Hashtag Big Ivan plays. Gets him with the binding there. Everybody joins. Twisted Fate Ultimate looking for the extra kill here. But Raze is healed up off the jungle camps. Immortals are regaining it.
Revenge! He needs the E! He doesn't pull the feathers back, he would have gotten the kill. Kiting away as best they can, but Stixxay is stuck in the front lines. Burns his Zonias, he will still die. That is another kill coming across. TP came back in for Orianna, but that minion wave is still there. In goes Niles. Recalls, can they be stopped? Orianna is here. He's got a wave. Is it enough? They've got a second one. They've got a shockwave. They've got revenge as well. Big Iron plays are going to be there. Insanity will live. The Nexus will not fall, but the turrets will. That said, it is 3v1 at the Baron. This Baron's going down. The Dragon's going to follow, and Immortals are right back in it.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for some late-night LCS after hours, because this is what you're going to get. Some explosive plays. Teleport in for an attempted Expecty move here from Niles. Not going to be able to pull it off, but that Cloud Soul is on the table. Now they're wearing purple, running straight for it. Insanity does not have teleport, and he's staying on the top wave, so they're not bringing him over, but I have to say, with Stixxay still dead in the death chambers, no teleport on Niles either. This should be Immortals, even without the Orianna.
Yep.
Stalling the Soul, picking up Soul Point for themselves.
I said it was going to be hard for Golden Guardians to drop this game with how much pressure they had, and the fight around mid just completely fell apart. Heroics that kept failing. And now it means the gold is almost tied, and at this point it's almost not going to matter anymore. There is so much farm that Insanity was able to pick up. He's level 18, highest level in the game for catching all the inhibs, and it starts here. Greedy recall.
I mean, this game is just making me question all my beliefs, Freak. I was like, oh, you know what? I feel so confident in this Immortals team fighting, the 5-on-5, the Golden Guardians got multiple free objectives. This one, though, right back out on the warpath, as you were talking about, the cavalry arriving. Once again, Immortals, they pick up the kill here.
Great
Blazeolf tried to make the flash play onto Raze, but stopwatch means everything.
Yeah, I think Blazeolf maybe should have just kept autoing there onto Raze. I knew the rest of the team was coming, but that follow-through was pretty easy. Regardless, then yeah, it was Heroics. It was, can we somehow fight the 3v5? And that answer was no.
It's a late game plays, Freak. The tensions are rising, and there's multiple inhibitors down. Those types of plays come up big, start to sweat. Here's another look at the regrouping on Stixxay. As you talked about, he wasn't able to get the pullback, so didn't get that one. And then we also got to see Niles going for it. He has been working hard this game, pumping for Golden Guardians, but all inhibitors have respawned. So we have officially made it.
Kobe,
late game here, Freak.
There is a really big deal, though. There are no turrets left in the Immortals base that matter. A Blazeolf can always ult into the base and hit the Nexus. That is always a threat. He can bring a ward with him and let the TP show up from Niles as well in about 2 minutes' time. This is so impossibly hard to play around for Immortals, because if he's past the river, the entire team's in range of just being there. It is so tough to deal with.
This is why you start to see these control wards placed at all the access points and around the inhibitors, around the Nexus, so that you can try and sniff out any residual trinket wards that have been left behind. And you start to try and ward all the pathways through your jungle for Twisted Fate getting in range of the teleport play as well. To try and ult in and drop.
But he ult and brings control ward, and then it's like, well, I can't stop that.
Yeah, as of right now, he's got full inventory. Did just fill it up there, so he's got no control ward spot. He could switch back to yellow trinket.
He should. He should absolutely yellow trinket, Kobe.
Go for that play.
He should absolutely yellow trinket. Like 100% of the time, a Blazeolf, the better play is to be yellow trinket, so that he can give a ward.
He's heading
for
back
Niles.
to the fountain, Freak.
It better be.
Maybe he does it. There's no reason not to go back to the fountain now, other than that, because he did it, because he just bought. He just filled up his inventory, so he does it. All right, I'm ready for the fireworks.
Kobe, I'm glad we called that in time. I'm so glad we called that in time, Kobe. That is like odds on favorite. That is the winning play this game. Was that trinket is the winning play in this game, and I'm not exaggerating.
We got to see his thought process in real time too, because he bought and he filled up his inventory. He left base, then started walking back towards fountain, saying, "I need this to be able to bring in, the Gangplank."
And look at Insanity. He's just sitting on his inhibitor, like, I have to be here.
Yeah, the defensive control words, the early alert system.
Defense against the Dark Arts, the much lauded position. Defense against Destiny. Which, you know, based on how this game is going, yeah, Destiny has been rough for Immortals this game. Some good as well, obviously, to be clear, but...
These are like those science fiction movies and series that always have a global defense system of automated lasers looking for asteroids coming towards the planet. Everybody's got to be on the lookout for the global for a Blaze Olive sneaking in towards the base. Okay, here we go. The exciting part, though, where it actually all breaks.
Yep, Dragon Soul in 50.
Soul comes up, and then guess what? Only 20 seconds afterwards, you have a Baron. So everything is focused on the team fight here. Should not over-focus on trying to smite the objective. If you get the team fight victory, you get the game.
20-second desync between this Soul and Baron. It means if you decide to give away Dragon and set up Baron, it's not going to be enough. If it's like 5 seconds, you have a decent chance of trying to make the rush down happen and do a brush bait, but 20 is a little bit too much. And again, anytime you put your team in and say, hey, we're going Baron, Golden Guardians runs at the base. So like, you can see Immortals are like, yep, they're all bottom river. We know, by the way, top inhib is not the easy target. There's still a turret there, so it's only bottom side that really matters. And because the inhibs are up, you have to get through those first. It buys enough time that you can react, but if you're actively hitting Baron, it's too late.
Okay, here's my play then. Gangplank ultimate, you keep Niles top side. He pushes that wave. Gangplank ultimates bottom side wave while you burn on the Baron, and you pressure them in towards base. They have to worry about Twisted Fate ultimate. It should be Golden Guardians with the upper hand with full wave control to be able to get this one. They've successfully picked up the Soul. You know, that's step number one. But the real kicker comes at the Baron.
Yeah, Golden Guardians right now don't own top river. Immortals does. That's a really big deal. I would love to see like Xerxes and Raze duoing Baron or something. They own vision control. Unfortunately, Xerxes would have to ult to get out. But Raze could burn flash if he had to. That's not the worst thing in the world. And that's right now. That's all the trigger wards down, right? So there is no vision for Golden Guardians. And if there's ever a blast plant, or even just walking in because there's no ward in the river either, I mean, those two can duo Baron no problem. And that's kind of what they have to do. They have to only really use 2 people to make this happen. But Golden Guardians, because Immortals have to play defensively, Immortals have to bleed the map. They have to bleed control over the river again, because if they ever send 5 to defend Baron, their base dies, and the game is over. And so they can never do anything more than this.
It's also too, you know, if somebody gets caught in this tricky situation here where you have Gangplank topside, Twisted Fate on bottom. Well, honestly, wow, they aren't really going to be able to pull off that pick either. Like,
I know.
It's just. It has to be Golden Guardians forcing their hand. It has to be Golden Guardians, you know, pushing the wave hard, forcing on Baron, but being so willing, so ready to pull off of it. Do not hard commit. The hard commit is the trap here for Golden Guardians, because time is actually working in your favor if a Blaze is able to gain positioning on this bottom lane.
Okay, here's a question.
They did send over Xerxes for a second, though. This is actually a bit of a gambit here. If they sniff this out, they can definitely punish.
And TF is the instigator, right? Like, TF is the one guy who gets the whole team into the base. Like, everyone else has to walk because they play the control wards well, right? Because they made it happen. There was one trinket ward, you see the right side of the map.
Trigger.
Okay, they're starting on Baron. They're pulling Xerxes over, and TF's trying to find people. The recall's coming through for Insanity. They've got to hit back. And this is one of the nice things about having 4 Cloud Drakes, though, is they have really, really short cooldowns on all of these spells. Insanity recalled because he saw Destiny, the ultimate out of TF, and he's like, okay, I have to be in the base. If he shows up, I have to get away. And indeed, okay. But this cooldown is really, really short. I don't know what 4 Cloud Drake TF ult cooldown is, but it's got to be under 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely short. As you can see, it just winding down right now. All right, so it's actually nothing really given up by Immortals, though, because Insanity holding on to his teleport until Golden Guardians force him to blow that. They haven't gained any ground, and so even though the Twisted Fate ultimate cooldown is so low, no meaningful ground actually gained there at all, and Immortals still very trepid, you know, about this, because they have so many access points here and so many wards for Golden Guardians with which to gain a way in. They have to be really careful choosing your moment. Ah, man, it's actually such a hard spot for them to be in. I want to see the hard force by Golden Guardians, though, especially with the Twisted Fate on bottom side if they can draw them out for it.
I kind of want to see the ward stones come down early. I want to see them come in like third item for both supports to get the fourth regular ward and the second control ward down, because I think it's actually really valuable here. The gameplay is so much around vision, so much around being in the right place at the right time, because the game is no longer really like League of Legends, the team fight game. It's League of Legends, the vision game, where you have to play around the teleports. And knowing people are is just all that matters. We're 2 minutes 20 away from Elder Dragon coming up and kind of forking decisions around global objectives. That's going to add another wrench to the game plan right now. TF ult is back up. He has another use. He can use another ult and have it back again in time for Elder, so there's still more room for shenanigans. And here's the stop. Here is the play to kill Insanity. To get away from the Shockwave. Here come the TP plays as well, though. Niall's going to look for the damage. They're going to find Goldcard. Great stopwatch. Revenge is here, but Revenge doesn't do any damage. However, Raze is there, and Ablaze Olive is going to drop as well, and it's going to be the trade. It's the trade to lose 2 kills, but grab the Baron. Can Golden Guardians defend their base for a full minute 3v5?
Exactly. The death timers are so long right now. 2 members advantage, but they're going for the race. They're going to base race it. Immortals know it. They're sending everybody back here except for Raze, who should be able to knock down.
This is so smart. Oh my gosh, this is genius play. Golden Guardians, this is so smart. They forced the recalls. Raze stayed. Recalls are done. Back to base. Nothing lost.
All right, there's only 30 seconds left on both solo laners for Golden Guardians, and they acquired the Baron on 3. Plenty of time to set up for this Elder Dragon freak. Oh my goodness, this game of traps and counter moves here, stepping out through these wards in lane, giving them extra information, and yet Golden Guardians still come away with the Baron buff, with the advantage. Xerxes over, so is Raze.
Raze finds Newbie. Stixxay might have to come around and give him a shield target, but be careful. He can dash, and Xerxes could dive. Newbie could flash, though, so there's no reason to make the play. Good.
Yeah,
that was good by Stixxay. You got to block that one.
45 seconds left on this Elder Dragon. Oh, and it's the teleport committed to the top side. That is Twisted Fate, though. It has to be a Blaze Olive up there, and he's got his Twisted Fate ultimate ready to join.
Okay, Revenge and Daisy are here. Kobe, there were tweets for this game between Inero, the head coach of Golden Guardians, and Gihoto, the head coach of Immortals, saying, you know, I thought it was going to be a battle for 10th place between us, but this is my favorite game of League of Legends of the year. This is all Galaxy Brain macro choices across teams that no one gave credit to, right? These are rosters like, oh yeah, it's a bunch of new players, development teams, whatever, no one cares. But they have to play this game so incredibly intelligently. You have to play this game so smart, and it's not like normal games of League. It has to be so much more intuitive here.
Yeah, the part that I love is that since there is no tool to rush a game state, you know, just load up a 50-minute game or something like that, you don't get to practice these situations with your team very often. No, scrims are not going to 50 minutes. So this really does benefit a lot of the older players with you know, a lot longer experience, been playing the game for so long, you know, so I actually really like to see when we get to have, you know, Elder pulls versus Twisted Fate style. Split pushes is one of the most interesting parts of the game and has been for so long.
How far back does Blaze Olive play? Because he doesn't know he has a complete one-way trip into the Nexus. Like, just now, Insanity recalled. But for the last 30 seconds, he could have just gotten a free inhibitor, but he didn't know. How could you have known who was around? But now that they forced the recall, Destiny comes in, they get an Elder Dragon. And Immortals have just been waiting for so long. Now they take the fight. They find the charm. They find the knockup. Here comes the battle with Elder Dragon on, and Xerxes. He's going to run out of health pretty rapidly. Ablaze Olive just going to kite away. Xerxes a bit low, gets a shield. The flash instincts. They cannot find the root, though, but you've still got an Olaf chasing Revenge. There's kill 1. There's kill 2. And Golden Guardians kept splitting the map, kept forcing awkward decisions, kept making it impossible to navigate this map, and Immortals could never find their way in. Golden Guardians, off the threat of all in the base, made them give away every single objective because there was never another choice. And Golden Guardians out macros Immortals to a slaughter, a slobber knocker of a 48-minute victory.
Oh my goodness, what a game from Golden Guardians and Immortals both. Holy moly, 2 very different reactions. You see Newbie and Stixxay, the veterans, are like, oh my goodness. Back in their seats, Niles is hyped up there, Ablaze is hyped. The fresher guys in the scene, I love it. Oh my goodness. Stixxay trying to massage out the possible headache here from running through all of these options late game.
I love this game, Kobe. I loved this game so much. Top 5 favorite games of all time. I'm legitimately going to say that. I don't care if I get flamed for it. I absolutely love this game for the uniqueness of it. Golden Guardians with this roster have won 1 game all year, and it was against the CLG sub-squad at the start of lock-in. And even that one was like a nail-biter. And every single time they would lose is because they could not figure out their mid to late game. For 3 of their players, top jungle and mid, they are rookies. They have never played in the LCS until 2021. And to be put into this game where it's just the macro game, it's just how experienced are you? Oh, not at all? Well, you're going to do it anyway. Incredibly well done.
I like how the solo laners were the ones that were more, juiced up and amped and happy too. Blaze and Niles had these positive reactions from, the playing Twisted Fate late game, pushing wave after wave, trying to pull the pincer, teleporting in. Gangplank, crushing it all game long versus this Ivern. Really actually fun stuff to see. Glad they're having fun enjoying it.
It had to be them doing it. Like, at the end of the day, it had to be those two making the choices and navigating their champions around the map and being in the right spot, and they made it happen. And I'm going to say one last thing before we toss to commercial. For Immortals, there's going to be a lot of flame online how they did nothing. They didn't have a choice. They truly didn't have a choice. I'm sure there were small moments where a risk could have been taken. There probably were things that could have been done a little bit better. But it is suffocating knowing that if you're not in your base, you instantly lose the TF ulting with a ward and a Gangplank. It is hard to make the right choice around that. Golden Guardians navigated well. Good job to them. And hey, Immortals, they still come away having won yesterday against TL. We'll see them all again on Sunday. Now, that's going to do it for us here. For myself and Kobe, we are done captain for the day, but be sure to stick around because after the break, we will hear from Stixxay in the Verizon postgame interview, so don't go in.
Welcome back to the LCS. We are here with our final Verizon post-game interview of the day at yet another game that crested over that 46+ minute mark. All right, Stixxay, I got you here with me. I know from the outside perspective, that was a lot of fun for us to watch. So I just want to hear from you. How did you just go through that entire game? What was it about?
I mean, honestly, I was kind of falling asleep a bit in the game. It was just super long, a lot longer than it needs to be. But I think as soon as we cracked open the base, we got 2 inhibs down. We had a TF comp. We knew that it was pretty much won. We just had to play it out properly. But yeah, it took a little longer than I expected.
Your veteranship and just the different backgrounds of all the players on the Golden Guardian side was very clear in the reaction that we saw in the cam to all of the games as well. So I want to talk a little bit about that. You've stepped into this Golden Guardians position as a veteran. You have some collegiate players, an academy player, someone coming from the LLA. What has that been like combining all of these different levels of experience to try and form this squad?
It's definitely been interesting, right? Yeah, because like you said, we have so many different backgrounds coming to this team. I think for someone like me who's like been in a winning environment before and then coming to a newer roster, I was generally surprised, honestly, with the level of knowledge and stuff that my teammates had. I was expecting a lot of it to be like just a lot slower in terms of how we were developing. But yeah, I mean, everyone had a pretty good general sense of the game, as well as they're really good mechanically. And even from just like week on the scrims, I knew that, oh, okay, this roster is actually not too bad. You know, I wasn't really sure what to expect going into it, but you're not too bad. But yeah, obviously on stage, I think we have a lot of nerves and it's a lot of stuff we have to work through still in terms of comms and stuff like that. But it's going well so far.
But I think some of the impressive moments in that game were the fact that there were these macro plays coming out of this young roster that people could really get behind. When it comes to the development of this, because we've heard kind of the Golden Guardians organization, what they offer to this. I know Niles talked up a lot his experience thus far. So how has this been like for you, stepping into this coaching staff that has a lot of experience with bringing new players as well as veteran players together?
Yeah, no, I think coming into Golden Guardians has been really nice for me. Like playing on CLG before was a really stressful environment, and like every game you lost just felt worse and worse, and so you're just like in a deep trench that you can't climb out of. Coming to Golden Guardians, it's like the coaching staff's a lot more chill, the players are a lot more chill, and we understand that we're really just playing these games to learn more than anything. So you know, if we would have lost the game, it would have really sucked. But like, you know, we have a lot to learn from it, right? So like, it's good we make those mistakes that we can learn from. Yeah, it's been a really pleasant experience, I'll say, overall.
And that's always good to hear when people are stepping under a new banner after having previous experiences in the LCS. Being that this is a new era for Golden Guardians and the fans that are accumulating there, the great content pieces that we're seeing coming out, are there any words you would like to say directly to those Golden Guardian fans that will be following you and the rest of the team throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, just thank you guys for all supporting us. I think we have a really unique, situation going on with our team, and I definitely don't think we're a boring team to watch. You know, maybe we have some in moments, but it's more fun than slowly losing games. So, yeah, thanks for supporting us.
As Freak said, it was a slobber knocker of a 48-minute victory. Stixxay, thanks for stopping by after that.
Yep, thanks.
That does round out our day of LCS games. So let's go ahead and close things out on the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Latigress. And Stixxay, I couldn't agree more. I definitely do not think you guys are a boring team to watch after that slugfest of a match between these two squads. Golden Guardians coming away with a victory. I really enjoyed the perspective he was able to lend to the interesting and unique environment that Golden Guardians has with the makeup of their roster and him being in one of the more veteran positions. But diving specifically into this game, Mark, I do want to talk about the top lane, specifically the matchup, starting with actually what was picked on Immortals' side with Ivern. Thoughts?
Yeah, if you have not been paying attention to the rest of the world, this might have shocked an NA viewer who's like, what the hell is this? But it's actually a relatively common pick that's been seeing play, and I think it, especially depending on what the kind of team comp you're crafting around, it makes sense. You go for that kind of Moonstaff combination, and then your third item will usually depend on if you're dealing more with a Wombo combo, you might have to focus a little bit more on getting the Redemption, but if you're trying to just buff up targets, which was kind of this game with the Hecarim, you'll often go for the Ardent Sensor. And its laning phase should not probably be this rough. I think Niles did a good job beating him up in laning phase. Revenge was struggling because it did take forever to get to those two items. And the point of this is that these are two cheap items with top lane income. You're able to get it very quickly, and then you're ready for team fights for kind of like this big mid-game spike that they just really got delayed on with what kind of happened in the top lane.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know I've seen some talk on Twitter on this, and I also reached out to the Immortals coaching staff to talk to them a little bit about it. And there were a few misplays in lane really early, actually at level 1, that ended up, shifting the lane. It is actually slightly Ivern favored. So I did want to throw that out there because I think a lot of people are going to be looking at this and being like, wow, like how is, GP? And that's not to take anything away from Niles. I like that they put them on the GP. It's one of his best champions. It's something he's going to be super comfortable on. And we've already talked about drafting for GG as this thing where you really do want to set up some of these rookie players for success, and this is another case of it.
Well, I think undoubtedly, right? Both things can play into it. Absolutely. Maybe some misplays on the side of the Ivern, but similarly, this is one of Niles' best and most signature champions. So no surprise that if you do make a mistake against him in lane, he's going to be able to punish you. But beyond that, while Immortals was actually the team picking up the early kills and extending an early lead, you take a look at this graphic right below us for the gold that was essentially, as we say here, printed by Gangplank and Twisted Fate over the course of the game. And that's, again, something you have to consider when you come out of Champion Select. Every second that goes by, how is this affecting the overall game state?
Yeah, I mean, this was... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that with more money, like you said, Ivern gets to get to his 2 items fast, right? But Gangplank is also making money, and he's getting to his 2 items as well. If I were to choose between an Ivern and a Gangplank at 2 items, I'm probably going to choose Gangplank majority of the time, unless the Ivern has an 80 carry that's something like a Caitlyn. It's really hard for Kai'Sa to play fights because she has to be really close range to them, and you're not really making full usage of like the dive, because if you're like, usually you have to dive the Ivern comp, but if you're Kai'Sa, you're kind of diving them. So it's, gold on Gangplank, I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's about 3K gold over the course of the game, right? I mean, it's pretty significant, to say the least, and, of course, difficult to manage to get both of them together. Another very interesting play, though, as I want to dive into some of what actually happened out there on the Rift. For Golden Guardians, getting back into it, Emily, I know you really wanted to talk about this very intelligent Baron sneak.
Yeah, so I actually love this. I mean, obviously, IMT try to get there, but by the time they take the Baron, it is too late. I wanted to point this out because the way that we've seen Golden Guardians go for objectives, earlier in this game, we saw them go for a very early Drake that was a little bit more ill-advised, but here, this is great, and I just, again, I can't point out enough how much I like that this team is going for these plays. Like, you see that they don't have vision. Even if they're pinging it out, you know that you can burn down Baron quickly enough to get out. I really, really enjoyed this play. I'm so glad that they went for it. And I'm also so glad, I wanted to point out that Dragon fight earlier because I'm so glad that something like that didn't discourage them into not going for something like this Baron play.
Right, and I just wanted to say that I thought it was for IMT, they're probably kicking themselves right now because they're like, it's so simple. I can't believe with them to sneak that Baron. Because had they not gotten that Baron, they were kind of in a position to win that game. They just single-handedly took top inhibitor really easily. They're ready for their death ball comp, and they just had to shove down mid first before rotating towards bot. But they didn't do that, and because of that, they lost the Baron, and then the game got really hard for them.
Yeah, very, very tough loss here for Immortals, and one that they'll probably be kicking themselves for. By the same token, though, Mark, I think, again, I want to remind not only us here on the desk, but the people at home, that this is a roster that just got onto the Rift together with all of their pieces. And so, to have come out of the first 2 days in a 1-1 record and a possible second win on the weekend tomorrow, hopefully they'll be able to recover from this one mentally rather quickly.
Yeah, I think for Immortals, there were still a lot of positive takeaways. I like the overall idea for the draft. I think Xerxes has looked pretty good so far. I mean, he has been spamming Hecarim, which is, kind of one of his go-to champions. So he's looked good so far. Some of the comps have been built around him, but he's been executing quite well. So I think there is a lot of positive takeaways from them because, like Hai was saying, a little bit better objective control, and they win this game. They did have the kill advantage despite falling behind in gold. But at this point in the game, you heard Stixie kind of reference it himself. Like, once the double inhibitors are down, there's no Nexus turrets at this point in the game. They had Soul, Golden Guardians were going to win this game. It was just about finding the actual opportunity, and Elder Drake provided that.
Yeah, and I think having that open base just hurts so much, right? When you know that the GP or the TF can go in at any time. Like, they were in a really good position once they took all those inhibs.
Both these teams are going to go to review after this and be like, hey, guys, we could have won that game 15 minutes earlier had we just not done this. For the side of IMT, if they just didn't give up the Baron, they won the game right there. For Golden Guardians, had they just played better around the 33-ish minute mark and played when the double inhibs were down and used the TF ulti, they could have won there too. They're going to look at that and be like, guys, we just wasted 15 minutes. We didn't learn anything the last 15 minutes. Let's just think about the fights that we take next time, and we'll get the W quicker.
But all in all, definitely a learning experience for both of these squads. Let's pull up our standings and check back in with how the league stands here at the end of day 2. We got Cloud9 and 100 Thieves. They're sitting pretty tied up at number 1 as we close out day 2 with TSM and CLG tied for 9th. We still got one more day of games tomorrow and more chances for teams to shake things up. So let's take a look at those matchups that we got coming at you. First, coming out the gate strong with a face-off between Team Liquid and FlyQuest, followed by EG taking on Golden Guardians, and a few more matches before we close out our weekend with 100 Thieves facing off against Dignitas. Emily, I'm coming to you with my tried and true question. Which of these 5 matchups piques your interest the most?
So you already hinted at it, but it's CLG TSM, and it's not for any sort of history between these two teams or any rivalry or anything like that, but these are our 2 teams right now that are sitting at 0-2, and both had really rough losses today for different reasons, and they're both looking to pick up their first win. Both of their fan bases are very vocal, let's just say, and so I feel like there's a lot of pressure on these teams, especially Team Solo Mid, actually, just because of the Sword Art pickup and all this other stuff around them in the offseason. This is going to be an interesting match, but that's definitely the one that I'm looking at tomorrow, and I'm like, wow, that's going to be the one to watch.
I couldn't agree more. Both needing a win, both sitting winless. You know, it's a lot of pressure on one match, especially considering, again, the condensed timeline of spring. Only 6 weeks between here heading into our playoffs and deciding who will go to the midseason showdown. That's going to do it from us here, though, tonight. So on behalf of myself, the casters, the entire remote broadcast crew, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more LCS. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, be good to each other. Good night.